Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Jack. Thanks for joining me on this video. I feel compelled to make this video as I feel like it's a public service announcement about the dangers of Delta-8 THC and what I am seeing in a clinical setting that I find rather alarming. In this video, I will go over how Delta-8 is made, how it's different from CBD, as well as Delta-9 THC. And we will be focusing on why you should be avoiding Delta-8 and the dangers of this synthetically made cannabinoid. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All across the United States, Delta-8 products are showing up all over various stores like vape shops, grocery stores, and gas stations. It comes in many forms like gummies, tinctures, and vape cartridges. In the clinic, I'm seeing many patients starting to take Delta-8 THC for things like anxiety, sleep, and pain relief. However, they do not realize the dangers of what they are consuming. Delta-8 is jumping on the popularity of CBD, but it is vastly different from CBD. Where CBD does not get you euphoric or high, and Delta-8 actually does, much like Delta-9 THC, which is the typical cannabinoid that people think of when they think of marijuana. It's worth mentioning that CBD is also produced in a vastly different way, which makes it safer if done right with methods like CO2 extraction. So let's compare Delta-8 to Delta-9. You see, Delta-9 and Delta-8 both bind to the same cannabinoid receptor that I have talked about before, the CB1 receptor. And if you're interested in how CBD works, then check out this video linked above. However, Delta-8's binding affinity, or how strong it binds to the receptor, is less compared to Delta-9. This may explain the milder experiences reported by Delta-8 users, hence leading to its other names such as marijuana light or diet weed or the nicer younger sibling of Delta-9 THC. And in this study, 71% of participants reported a lot or a great deal of relaxation, and 68% said that they had euphoria. More than 50% had pain relief from taking Delta-8. However, they still reported the same issues as with Delta-9 THC, like having a lot of issues concentrating and having skewed thinking. However, less anxiety and paranoia were reported than with Delta-9 historically. Overall, Delta-8 seems to just have a better side effect profile compared to Delta-9. So who has taken this stuff? Believe it or not, I'm seeing many older people looking for Delta-8 THC, and they are looking to it to basically soothe pain while avoiding opiates and the euphoric effects of marijuana. It seems that the older generation in particular do not like the stigma of marijuana, and they feel that since Delta-8 is labeled differently, that it is somehow okay or better to take. So all of this sounds pretty benign, right? So what's the danger involved here? What led the CDC in September of 2021 to issue a warning, followed by the FDA doing the same thing? According to the FDA, between January 2021 and February of 2022, there were over 2,300 reports of Delta-8 THC poisoning. 2/3 of the cases required admission to the hospital, and 1 in 10 cases needed admission to the intensive care unit. 40% of cases involved children and teenagers. This is likely due to the attractive labeling of a lot of Delta-8 products, like a bag full of colorful gummy bears with no child safety measures on the packaging nor warnings on the packaging neither. The problem is that there is no oversight on what is exactly within these products once they hit the shelves. A study published in December of 2021 looked at 27 different Delta-8 THC products and found that none of them had the amount of the Delta-8 listed. In fact, there were considerable amounts of Delta-9 THC found within those same products. Not only that, but they also had harmful byproducts like heavy metals, lead, and mercury. In an independent analysis of 51 products by CBD Oracle, which is a cannabis consumer research company, 77% had less Delta-8 THC than advertised, and 3/4 of the products had higher THC levels than actually permitted by law. Common adverse reactions include hallucinations, vomiting, anxiety, tremors, dizziness, confusion, and loss of consciousness, with children at particularly high risk. And I was actually reading an article where there was actually a 4-year-old who got a hold of the parents' bag of Delta-8 THC gummies and apparently ate the entire bag. And the child ended up having seizures and unfortunately did not make it. So this is very dangerous stuff. Delta-8 THC is made in the lab. It is not extracted from the cannabis plant the way CBD is, typically through a safe and clean manner like CO2 extraction. And for the sake of staying on topic here, we won't get into the weeds with all the processing. or with all the different processing options when it comes to cannabis. Perhaps we'll do that in a separate video. You see, Delta-8 THC is made synthetically from hemp extracted CBD. Delta-8 is a naturally occurring cannabinoid within the cannabis plant like CBD, Delta-9 THC, CBGA, CBG, CBN, and the over 100 other identified cannabinoids, many of which I've talked about before. However, it is considered a minor cannabinoid, meaning that it is not present in large amounts. Delta-8 THC is not present in high enough quantities within the cannabis plant to make it profitable enough to extract directly. With the boom in the cannabis industry, both CBD and Delta-9 are very prevalent and abundant. Producers are capitalizing on all of this as Delta-8 is more profitable than CBD, but avoids the legal ramifications of Delta-9 THC. So Delta-8 has hit the cannabis market in a big way because of the quote-unquote gentler euphoric effects, but is essentially a legal loophole in states where Delta-9 THC is not legal. And thus far, it has evaded federal regulation because Delta-8 THC can be made from CBD isolate, which is pulled from the hemp plant, which the Farm Bill has made legal. And it is in how Delta-8 is made in a lab from another cannabinoid like CBD through a process known as isomerization that makes it so dangerous. This process involves using a solvent like heptane and adding an acid. The solution is then subjected to a very high temperature. There are dozens of different solvent-acid combinations like hydrochloric acid and ethanol, or sulfuric acid and cyclohexane as a couple of options that can be used to convert CBD into Delta-8. This also produces, unfortunately, a wide variety of different byproducts. And here lies the problem. This industry is not regulated, and therefore the consumer has no idea what they are getting. For example, you can use acetic acid, which is actually a common chemical used to make Delta-8 THC. And if you actually look up acetic acid, you'll find that inhaling it can actually be extremely dangerous. If you talk to people that actually run the labs that do the testing on these synthetic Delta-8 products, they will tell you that compounds show up on liquid chromatography that are completely unidentifiable. Meaning that after this chemical reaction used to make the Delta-8, there are byproducts there that these labs cannot even identify. And this exact product is making it into the store shelves and into your body. There are also concerns involved with how they are labeled. Some Delta-8 products are simply labeled hemp, which is obviously misleading as hemp has historically been reserved for products that have no euphoric effects. Some even go so far as to make therapeutic claims on their website or on the bottle, which is in violation of federal law if a product makes unsubstantiated therapeutic claims. Now, I do want to say that if you live in a state that has regulated dispensaries, the Delta-8 there goes through much more rigorous testing, but if outside of these parameters, you truly have no idea what you're putting inside your body and the downstream implications. So I hope you found the video helpful. If you know of someone that is using Delta-8, please share this video with them so that they're aware of everything that you just learned as well. I see this issue becoming a bigger and bigger public health issue, much like the vape pen issue that happened a while back that killed several people, and that was due to processing of the liquid as well. As always, please be sure to hit the like button and comment below and share your thoughts on all of this. So until next time, take care, stay safe, bye-bye, Pura Vida.